So here is the current state of my JS22. I have achieved proof of concept, we'll call it, phase 1 of the project. It's a good playing guitar at this point. So what are we looking at? This is a Jackson JS22 with a minion neck, which is a short scale neck. It has now a Stuart McDonald humbucker and a Telecaster hardtail bridge. So a few changes from how this guitar came originally. Here are the parts. I bought a minion neck off of eBay. It cost me about 80 bucks altogether, delivered. I bought this Stuart McDonald overwound humbucker, a little bit of an upgrade potentially. Wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but we'll get there in a minute. And then the guitar came with a floating tremolo, which I'm not a big fan of, so I wanted a hardtail bridge. And the Telecaster bridge, I picked it because it's going to cover up some of the leftover cavities in the body from having to reposition the bridge to accommodate the shorter scale guitar length. Because not only is the guitar, the neck itself, shorter scale, but you need to change the bridge position actually to have the correct intonation. So it needed to be moved up and it needed to do some woodworking. Anyways, the Telecaster just made that a little bit easier. Here are the original neck, JS22 on the left and the minion neck on the right. JS22 neck is 25.5 inch scale length, so standard Fender scale length, I believe, and then the minion neck is 22.5, so it's noticeably shorter. The fret spacing's closer together, makes it easier to play, especially if you have shorter fingers, for example, or for children or people new to play the guitar. It's just easier to play, honestly. Feels a little bit different to play because of the shorter scale. People may or may not like that. The tension on the strings is a little bit different as well, so it's a different feeling to the guitar for sure, and it's definitely one that I like a lot. Not many good short scale guitars around, unless you want to buy a really expensive vintage Fender, it seems to me. So this is the way I achieve my goal. I bought this fret rocker tool off of eBay again. You can buy a good one off of Amazon or from all these different websites these days, 20-30 bucks. You can buy this one for $4, but this is the consequences of the $4 purchase. You need to do a little bit of work to make it usable. Here I am cleaning up the edge, which was quite uneven on my diamond stone. You can see where there were some gaps in it, and of course if you're trying to carefully measure the difference between your different frets, you want it to be extremely level, close to flat as possible. So did not come that way. In any case, I made it work. I did a comparison of my two necks, the JS22 and this minion neck. The JS22 this is the minion neck we're looking at, but the JS22, some of the fret ends actually don't look very good. They look kind of uneven and a little bit poorly cut, and they look much nicer actually on this minion neck. What's surprising though is this neck does not feel as good. The minion neck is just not as well made as that JS22 neck. It's noticeable. The fret ends are rougher, and a number of these frets were uneven. I had to use my fret hammer to level them out, and when I did, little bits of, I imagine a glue or a finish, I'm not sure what it was kind of exploding out from underneath the fret while I was forcing it down with a hammer. So that was kind of interesting. It did require a little bit of work to get this neck in good shape, but it is now, so all is well. So here's what it looks like when I was test fitting my bridge and the humbucker. Again, everything had to move up a bit from where the original floating tremolo bridge was to accommodate the shorter scale neck. So I had to do some woodworking to expand the cavity so that humbucker could fit in there. I had to re-drill the holes for the strings for the through body design. And it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Again, this is my proof of concept. When I have access to a wood shop again, I will route out this hole and fill it with some good wood and redo this work so that it looks good and is a bit more solid and reliable. Right now I'm just working at home on my coffee table, so freehand drilled these holes and things, and yeah, didn't do a great job, as you'll see. And there is some of my brilliant woodworking, but in any case, it is quite solid and it will work well the way it is. It's just pretty ugly. You can also see some of my pro quality wiring here. I used actual painter's tape to make it work, but in fact it does work. I'm going to come up with a different wiring configuration for when I finalize this work. And of course I'll solder it up to make sure it's reliable. But in the final version, what I'd like to have is that 3-position switch. All the way back is the bridge humbucker. Middle position will be the tap single coil in the bridge, and then all the way forward is the neck humbucker. Alright, so here's the bridge. I'm using a radius gauge to make sure the strings are presenting to the neck with the same radius as that fingerboard. Here's the string action. We're about 2 millimeters of the 12th fret. Could be a little lower, but this actually felt pretty good to me. I'm going to be changing the strings and things, so I may continue to work at refining this, but it's okay. Needed a truss rod adjustment, needed a little more tension on the neck. It was getting some fret buzzing, and so I made those adjustments. So of course adjusted the intonation at the bridge to make sure it was playing in tune everywhere on the neck. Here's what it looks strung up with the intonation, everything adjusted about as well as I can. Again, that humbucker is, the ridge is not exactly mounted correctly. I need to refine the mounting a little bit so that I can get it positioned a little more flat and a little more close to the strings, but it's good enough for, again, proof of concept. So here's the guitar in the end. Next stages of this will be to redo the wiring. I'm going to take the whole thing apart and to sand and refinish the body. That was one of my main complaints with the guitar when I first got it, was the body was not well finished. It was kind of rough in spots, even kind of unpleasantly rough. So the whole top really needs to be sanded and then refinished. I'll use an oil finish to maintain the natural wood appearance. I also did polish the neck because the neck had that same kind of somewhat rough satin finish. It wasn't entirely pleasant, so a little bit of the polishing pad on the neck and it's smooth as glass, really feeling good. And it's a great guitar. It's to compare the pickups, I wasn't really sure what to expect, to be honest. I kind of took a gamble on it. I'd say this Stuart McDonald pickup is a little bit warmer and a little bit sweeter. I didn't really A/B comparison it, so I'm kind of going out on a limb with my opinion, but it certainly did sound pretty great to me, and I just love the way this thing plays. So this is definitely fits the bill for me. I'll be refining my work in the next phase. It may take me a little while since it's perfectly good playing guitar, and I got a lot of other projects to do. So thanks for joining me for this project. Hopefully that was interesting to you all. See you another time.